students, today we are going to learn Unit 9. So in the grammar section, we have the following concepts. We have the if clause, framing questions, syllables, profile. So in the grammar section, you have the if clause, framing questions, syllables and a profile. Then you have the supplementary reading, a great martyr ever cherished. Then you have the poetry, the Ballad of Tempest. So these consist of Unit 9. So let us study one by one. First one is the if clause. Read the following conversation and fill in the blank with the correct if clause, choosing from the given alternatives. So there is a small conversation. Mahesh is saying here, "Why can't you come with me, Siddesh?" So Siddesh is answering, "No, I have some urgent work." Mahesh, "May I know the correct reason, Siddesh?" So Siddesh is saying here, "I don't have vehicle to take my dad to the hospital. That's it." So Mahesh is saying, "Is it? If you had told me earlier, I dash a vehicle. I dash a vehicle." So you should have the options here, the correct option. So the correct options here are A, will arrange, B, would have arranged, C, would arrange, and D is shall arrange. So which is the correct option? The correct option is B, would have arranged. So how should we learn this, Andre? See the sentence here. If you had told me earlier, I dash a vehicle. So you have had and a past participle followed by a past participle. Had told. So whenever you have had and followed by past participle, that is whenever you have a past perfect, the answer should always be would have. Okay. So what is the hint here? If in a sentence you have past participle, the answer should always be would have. See here you are having here had told. Had told is a past participle form. So that is why the answer is here B option, would have arranged. So see the answer here, B, would have arranged. So in this way you have to identify the if clause, wherein you can score 1 mark over here. So next one is framing questions. So in order to frame the questions, you need to know what are the WH questions. So today we are going to learn about how to frame the questions. So before that, let us learn the question forms. WH question forms. So the first question form is what. So what is usually related to a thing? We normally ask a question if it's related to a thing. Then where? Where, the question form where is used for a place. When for time and date. Who for a person. Which for choice. Why for a reason. See here, what. See, you say, what is this? It's a table. So for a thing you use that. Where, you use it for a place. Where are you going? Like that. Now when is used for time and date. For example, when is your exam or when is your birthday. So in that way, in that sense, you can use the question word when. Who is used for person. Who is your father, who is your teacher. So use like that. And which is generally used for choice. Which dress do you like? Which color dress you like? So in that way. Which is your favorite dish, or which is your favorite sweet. So wherein choices are given for you and you have to choose from that. And why is asked for a reason. For example, why were you absent? Why were you absent? Or why did you score less marks? So for such reasons, you use the question for why. So what is for thing, where is for place, when is for time and date, who is for a person, which is for choice, and why is for reason. So remember these. Now What? We'll go with the first question form. What? How should we frame the questions? Example 1. This is a table. So what they will do here is they will give you a sentence and they will underline a word. Here they have underlined the word table. So you have to frame a question in such a way that the underlined word comes as an answer for you. Okay. Now for that, I have already told you that what is used for things. Okay. Now this is a table. So they have underlined the word table. Now table is a thing. So what kind of question you are going to frame here? So see here. What is this? So what is the answer? Table. So the word that is underlined should come as an answer. You have to frame in such a way. What is this? So that is the answer is table. So one more example I'll just give you. Sham is eating a cake. So which they have underlined here? A cake. A cake is also a thing. Right? So the question form that you have to use here is what? So the question form is, what is Sham eating? What is Sham eating? So what is the answer? A cake. So the underlined word should come as an answer. So did you understand, students, what the way we have to frame the WH questions? So it's very easy. You have to write what and the same helping verb you have to take, and then the subject Sham and then eating. The next one, where. Where is used for place. Okay. Now Sujata is going to Bangalore. So the underlined word is Bangalore. So it's a place. So the question word you have to use is where. Where is Sujata going? So what is the answer? Bangalore. Next, example 2. The pen is in the box. So which is underlined word here? In the box. So the question is, where is a pen? So what is the answer? In the box. So in this way you need to frame the WH questions. Next question form is when. When is for time and date. Shreya's birthday is on 7th August. So the underlined word is 7th August. So 7th August is a date. So the question form is, when is Shreya's birthday? So we cannot use here what and where because the underlined word is a date here, 7th August. For the date and time you need to use the question form when. So we are going to use here, when is Shreya's birthday? One more example. We got our independence on 15th August 1947. So the underlined word is 15th August 1947. So it is a date over here again. So we'll see how we can frame the question. When did we get our independence? So in this way you have to frame the WH question. One more. Who? Who is used for a person. Example 1. She is a doctor. A doctor is a person, right? Who is she? Who is she? Example 2. Rama is talking to a teacher. Who is Rama talking to? So the answer is a teacher. So teacher is a person. So for person you have to use the word who. You cannot use when here because there is no date here. Doctor and teacher is a person over here. So it's related to a person. So we are going to use the question word who. One more. Why? Which is for choice. Example 1. I like the blue dress. So specifically they are telling here, I like the blue dress. So the underlined word is blue dress. So which dress do you like? Which dress do you like? So the answer is blue dress. Example 2. My favorite sweet is gulab jamun. So there are many sweets. In that sweet, gulab jamun is the favorite sweet. So there is choice over here. So the question is, which is your favorite sweet? Yeah. Next one. Why? Why is for reason. She was absent because she had fever. So the underlined word over here is because she had fever. They are giving you a reason here. She was absent because she had fever. So the question form that you have to use here is why. So the question is, why was she absent? Example 2. She scored less because she didn't work hard. So again the reason is given here. She scored less because she didn't work hard. So what is the question word here? Question form. Why did she score less? So what is the answer? Because she didn't work hard. So in this way you need to frame the WH questions. So in unit 9 this question was asked. So let us solve this. Read the conversation and frame the question to get the answer for the underlined word. It is asked for 1 mark. Shreya is telling here, who wrote these rules of Indian Constitution? She is asking a question there. And father is replying, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The Constitution came into force on 26th January 1950. So here the underlined word is 26th January 1950. And what question word you have to use here? Just recall the question words what, where, when, why, which. So here you have 26th January 1950. It is a date, right? It is a date here. So for dates, what is the question verb you have to use? You have to use when. So the question is, when did the Constitution come into force? When did the Constitution come into force? So in this way you need to frame the question. You have to carefully observe the underlined word. If it is a thing, you have to use what. If it is a place, you have to use where. And if there is a reason, you have to use why. And if there is a date and time, you have to use when. So in this way, students, you try to frame the questions. It is very easy. Do many examples, solve many question papers which are having these type of questions, and you can easily score 1 marks over here. So we'll move to the next concept. Syllables. So in syllables, you have to remember the 5 vowels A, E, I, O, U. So the question is, which one of the following word has 1 syllable? So there are different methods of knowing whether the word has 1 syllable, 2 syllable or 3 syllable. You have the chin method. You can keep your hand to your throat and you can see how many times it vibrates when you're telling or when you're pronouncing the word, and you can also count the vowels also. You can also count the vowels. So they're asking you which one of the following words has 1 syllable. See here, butter. So when you're saying butter, it has 2 syllables. See, butter, butter. When you're pronouncing it, you can find 2 or you can hear 2 sounds there. Butter. So it has 2 syllables. Then you have boy. Boy has only 1 syllable. And then you have here beauty. Beauty. Again you have your 2 syllables. Balance. Balance. So again here also you have 2 syllables. So what is the question here? Which one of the following words has 1 syllable? So leaving boy, the rest of the words have 2 syllables. So what is the answer over here? The answer is boy, because it has only 1 syllable. So in this way they are going to ask you a question. They may ask you which one of the following has 2 syllables, or they may ask you which one of the following has 3 syllables. So depending upon that, depending upon the question, you need to find the answer. So here they have asked which one of the following has 1 syllable. So the 1 syllable word is boy. So you are going to write the answer boy. So in this way you need to find out the syllables. Okay, fine. Next one is the profile writing. It is also for 3 marks and it is also very easy. If you just know the techniques of writing the profile in a paragraph, it becomes very easy. Profile writing is also a easy scoring area. I'll just teach you how you have to follow some of the techniques which will be very helpful in writing the profile in a paragraph. So profile writing easy techniques. So the first sentence you can write is, this profile is about Mr. or Mrs., Shri or Srimati, Doctor or Professor. So they may give you anything. They may tell like Mrs. Triveni. You can say this profile is about Mrs. Triveni, or they may tell this profile is about Mr. Rakesh. Anything, whatever the name is given there, you can write it there. This becomes a first sentence. Now, another technique that you have to remember is, if it is a woman, you have to use she or she and her. And if it is a man, you have to use he and his. Remember this. If it's a woman, you have to use she and her. If it is a man, you have to use he or his. Now see here, age. They give you a age 49 years or age 50 years. So how you have to write? His, if it is a boy, you have to use his age is. If it is a girl, you have to use her age is. Or you can also use like this. He is 49 years old or she is 49 years old. You can use it. Born on. So he or she was born on. If it is a boy, you have to use he. If it is a girl, you have to use she. He or she was born on. Birthplace. Her or his birthplace is. Designation, occupation, profession. All these are one and the same. Don't be confused. So they may either say designation or occupation or professional. They are all one and the same. So you have to write the sentence his profession is or her profession is, depending upon the gender. Known for or known as. He or she is known as, known for. Parents' name. His parents are or her parents are. Awards. She is awarded or he is awarded. Anything. Achievements and contributions are one and the same. His achievements are or her achievements are. Nationality. His nationality is or her nationality is. Hobbies. His hobbies are or her hobbies are. Qualification. His qualification is or her qualification is. Specialization. His specialization is or her specialization is. So if it's a man or a woman, for depending upon that you need to change it. Now reasons for popularity. The reasons, if they give you reason, you have to write reason. If they give you reasons, you have to write reasons. The reasons for his popularity are or the reason for her popularity is. Anything. We just one profile will just solve over here, which was asked in unit 9. So given below is a profile of Mrs. Triveni. Write a paragraph using the clues. So 1 into 3 is equal to 3 marks. So 3 marks. So they have given you the profile Miss Triveni, Mrs. Triveni. Age is 49. Qualification MA B.Ed. Profession teacher. Place of work Shivamogga. Subject English. Hobbies painting and singing. Reasons for popularity soft spoken, friendly to students, dedicated and very resourceful. Achievements best teacher award at the state level, paper presentation at the International English Conference. So this is a profile. Now what you have to do, write a paragraph using the clue. So you have to write this profile in a paragraph for which you will be awarded 3 marks. So let's write, students. Are you ready? So let us start writing. Yes, the answer is like this. So first you need to introduce who is Mrs. Triveni. She is an English teacher. So give the introductory sentence first. Mrs. Triveni is an English teacher. Then afterwards, age 49 they have given here. So you can write here, her age is 49. Her qualification is MA B.Ed. Her place of work is Shivamogga. Her hobbies are painting and singing. The reasons for her popularity are she is soft spoken, friendly to students, dedicated and very resourceful. Her achievements are she got the best teacher award at the state level and paper presentation at the International English Conference. So in this way, sentence by sentence, if you write it in a paragraph correctly by following the easy techniques, you can easily score 3 marks. So students, please practice the profile writing more and more. So now we go with the supplementary reading, A Great Martyr Ever Cherished. I am going to go with the summary of this supplementary reading lesson. So gist of the lesson. So here the main character of this lesson is Hanifuddin. So who was Hanifuddin? Hanifuddin was a soldier. You can see the picture over here. So he is Hanif, he was a soldier. He faced a lot of problems when he was a child. So when he was a child, he had lot of problems in his family. He fought in the Kargil War of 1999 and died at the age of 25. So when he was just 25, he sacrificed his life for the country in the Kargil War. So this is a small summary of the lesson, a great martyr ever cherished. So you can see here. We'll go with some of the expected questions. So from this lesson, they're going to ask you 2 marks questions. No 3 marks, no 4 marks, no 1 mark questions from this lesson. Only 2 marks questions. So here are some of the expected questions. Read the following questions and answer them in 2 to 3 sentences each. So the first question. Life for Hanif at the beginning was never a smooth sail. Why was it so? So life for Hanif was never smooth at the beginning. Andre, when he was a small boy, his life was very difficult. He had a very tough life when he was a child. ಅವನು ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ಹುಡ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಾಗ ಮಗುವಾಗಿರುವಾಗ ಅವನ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಅವನು ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಯಿತು. ಯಾಕೆ, ವೈ ವಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೋ, ಏನು ಅವು ತೊಂದರೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ Hanif lost his father when he was just 8. His mother Hema Aziz was left to take care of 3 young boys. She had to leave the children and travel with the performance team of the Information and Broadcasting Ministry. So now we'll note when Hanif was just 8, he lost his father. His father died and his mother was left alone to take care of the 3 young boys. So ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಇತ್ತು. She had to travel with the performance team. So ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ she had to leave the 3 children alone in the house because she had to go and work outside. So this is the reason why life for Hanif was never smooth in the beginning. So ಇದು 2 marks question ಇದೆ. So ಇದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ. So ಇನ್ನೊಂದು question, why was life for Hanif always ekdam bindas? Or ಈ ತರನು ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅನ್ನ. Hanif was a talented young man. Justify. Hanif was a talented young man. ಹನೀಫ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ವು ಅಂತ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರನ್ನು ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಈ ಕ್ವೆಶನನ್ನು ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 2015ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜೂನ್ 2015 ಪೇಪರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಜೂನ್ 2015ನಲ್ಲಿನೂ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್. Our talents we have to write here. Hanif dabbled in art, sketched very well. He made beautiful cards out of waste materials. He read a lot and loved playing drums. So these are his talents. ಸ್ಕೆಚಿಂಗ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅವರು ಆರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ರು, ಮತ್ತು he used to make beautiful cards from the waste materials and he also read a lot. ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾಳ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿತು ಅನೀಫ್ಗೆ, and he also loved playing drums. So this is also for 2 marks. So the next expected question is, how does the writer describe the introvert Hanif? Introvert ಅಂತಂದರೆ a person who doesn't mingle with others a lot. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಿಂಗಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ, ತಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾವೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಹನೀಫನ್ನು ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೋವರ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್, Hanif was an introvert. He began to make friends only by the time he was 14 years of age. He would often go out of his way to help people because that gave him a certain kind of joy. So this is a 2 marks question, students. So try to study. So maybe these 3 questions are very important for your exams. So be prepared with these 3 questions. So we go with the next poem, which is called as the Ballad of Tempest. So summary ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದೊಂದು very beautiful poem which tells us to have faith in God, which tells us to have belief in God no matter what the situation is. So this is a summary. Ballad of Tempest though. The sailors were sailing in a ship. ಸೊ ನಾವಿಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಶಿಪ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಮಿಡ್ ನೈಟ್. ಯಾವ ಸಮಯ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ಮಿಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ 12 o'clock. ಬಟ್ ಆಲ್ ವೇರ್ ಅವೇಕ್. ಸೊ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಅವರು ನಾವಿಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇಲರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಚ್ಚರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದರು. ದೇ ವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವೇಕ್. ವೈ ಅಂತ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ನು ಬರ್ಬೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ. ದೇ ವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವೇಕ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಅವೇಕ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಟೆಂಪೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿರುಗಾಳಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಶಿಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಟೆಂಪೆಸ್ಟ್ ಓವರ್ ದೇರ್. ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಟೆಂಪೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ ಶಿಪ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ they were very afraid and they knew that they're going to die. So that is why they were all awake. They were all crowded in a cabin. ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ರೂಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಶಿಪ್. ದೇ ವೇರ್ ಆಲ್ ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರೇಯರ್ಸ್, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ನಾವು ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿರುವಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೆನಪು ಬರೋದು ಯಾರು ನಮಗೆ? ದೇವ್ರ ನೆನಪು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಬಿರುಗಾಲಿ ಬೀಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ when the ship was about to drown and when they were about to die, they were all busy in prayers. So at that time the captain of the ship comes and he says, we are lost, I too, we are going to die, we cannot do anything more anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್. Then the captain's daughter said, ಅವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಡಾಟರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ. ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವೆರಿ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ she will tell there. Isn't God upon the sea just as on the land? So she says a very encouraging words over there. God is there, she says, don't worry. God is going to protect us even on the sea, upon the sea. God is going to protect us ಅಂತ one beautiful encouraging words ಹೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ then the sailors put their faith in God and reached the shore. So discouragement mood ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ sailors ಗೆ it is a type of encouragement she gives the captain's daughter. ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟು ದೇವರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಭರವಸೆ ಇಟ್ಟು they will reach the shore. So this is the summary. You can see the picture over there. The ship is sailing on the water and you can see it is midnight, it is very dark, and there is a tempest over there, yes. At last they reach the shore. After striving hard, they will reach the shore. So now we have some expected questions. ಈ ಪೋಯಮ್ನಿಂದ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರೊಂದು ಲೈನನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಲೈನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು 3 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್, A B C ಅಂತ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಈಚ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 1 mark. ಸೊ ಎಗೆ 1 mark, for ಬಿಗೆ 1 mark and ಸಿಗೆ 1 mark. So totally you can score 3 marks. So we'll read some of the extract questions. Read the extracts and the questions that follow and try to answer it. So the first extract is, we were crowded in a cabin, not a soul dared to sleep. Who does we refer to? The answer is sailors. Why were they awake? There was a tempest and they feared that they would die. What does the word cabin mean? Private room in a ship. So ee tara question ide. Next question. It is a fearful thing in the winter to be shattered by the blast. What is called the fearful thing? ಭಯಂಕರವಾದ ವಿಷಯ ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ to be caught in a tempest. ಅದು answer. Second question. How did it affect the sailors? So when there was a tempest, sailors ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ how did it affect them? What was the result of that ಅಂದರೆ they were awake and they prayed. And the third question is, where did it happen? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ on a sea. Third extract. So we shuddered there in silence, for the stoutest held his breath. So the first question is, who does we refer to? So the answer is sailors. So we shuddered there in silence. So we ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ sailors. What does stoutest mean? Stoutest ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ bravest. Why were they shuddered in silence? ಯಾಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there was a tempest and they feared that they would die. Next extract. Isn't God upon the ocean just as he is on the land? ಇದು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್. ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್, ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಡಾಟರ್. ವೈ ಡಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಸೇ ಸೋ? ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ ಈ ಮಾತನ್ನ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ ಶೌಟೆಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸೇಲರ್ಸ್? ದೇ ರೀಗೇನ್ ಫೇತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೋಪ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿರುತ್ಸಾಹದಿಂದ ಇದ್ರು, ಆದರೆ ಈ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ದೇ ರೀಗೇನ್ಡ್ ದ ಫೇತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೋಪ್. ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. Then we kissed the little maiden and we spake in better cheer. Who does refer to? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ we ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ the answer is seaman and the captain. Why did they kiss the maiden? ಯಾಕೆ ಮುದ್ದಾಡಿದ್ರು ಮೇಡನ್ನ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ because she infused in them the faith and hope. Who does the little maiden refer to? ಈ little maiden ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is the captain's daughter. Sixth question. We are lost, the captain shouted as he staggered down the stage. So who does we refer to? We are lost ಅಂತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ extract. So we ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಿಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So the answer is the captain and the sailors. See, ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ sailors ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ seamen ಅಂತಾನೂ ನೀವು ಬರಿಬಹುದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ. You can write anything. Why did he shout so? ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ we are lost ಅಂತ? Because the captain shouted so because the ship was destroyed by the tempest. We are lost ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the ship was almost destroyed by the tempest. So the last question over here is, what does stagger mean? Stagger ದು ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? As he staggered down the stairs ಅಂತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ extract ನಲ್ಲಿ. So stagger ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ to walk unsteadily. Whenever we are afraid, we don't walk straight. We normally have a shake and we walk in a zigzag way. So that is called as a staggering. So staggering means to walk unsteadily. Seventh one, we anchored safe in the harbor when the morn was shining clear. Who does we refer to? And we antide alali. So we andre yarilli antandre the answer is the captain and the sailors. What made them to reach the shore? ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ರೀಚ್ ಆದರು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಡಾಟರ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ದೆಮ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಯರ್. ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಭಯ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದರು. ಆ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ದೇ ಕೇಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೇಡ್ ದೆಮ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ದ ಶೋರ್. ವಾಟ್ ಡಸ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಕರ್ ಮೀನ್? ಅ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಟು ದ ಶಿಪ್. ಸೊ ಆ್ಯಂಕರ್ದು ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಟು ದ ಶಿಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ship over here. So students, these are the extract questions. So Ballad of Tempest nalli extract type of questions they will ask you. So be prepared with all these questions, and we have completed the grammar part, we have completed the supplementary reading also, and we have also completed the Ballad of Tempest. So this is a type of revision for you. So learn, keep learning, study well. Hope you have got all the notes with you. So keep on studying, and I just hope that, and I just pray to God that you will make use of all these video lessons, and you will come out of the SSLC exams with flying colors. So all the best students for your SSLC exams. Thank you.